Hello, hello. Welcome to the Not So Christian Me Show. I'm your host and CEO, Southern Girl Denise. And today we have another great show. Today we have local franchise business owner of Howdy Homemade Ice Cream, Mr. Roderick Batson, as he continues to honor National Developmental Disability Awareness Month with everyday support of its special needs employees. Without further ado, please help me welcome Mr. Rod Batson. Whoop, 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 whoop.
hey,
How are
hey.
you?
I love that. I love that introduction. It's spot on.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I was working really hard on it.
Man, I gotta give you credit.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being my special guest. How are you?
I'm doing so amazing. I'm honored to be on this show. Thank you.
Well, I'm honored to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so tell a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So my name is Rod Batson. I'm from the Katy area. Right outside of college. I'll fast forward. So right outside of college, I started working for Child Protective Services as an investigator. So I love being a help for the voiceless, and so I love helping, quote unquote, save lives in that industry. And so I did that for 3 years. But as you may know, working for the state can become a little taxing at times. So I transferred over into the medical field in 2014, where I became a medical sales rep. From 2014 to 2016. And in 2016, I decided to start my own medical sales company. And by the grace of God, that kind of took off. And so from that, I was able to open up different businesses and different ventures, like a home healthcare company. I have an investment in a small hospital and various things in the medical field. But during COVID, I started to think outside the box again, and I wanted to get back to more service and more helping individuals. And so that's where I saw the founder of Howdy Homemade, which is Tom Landis in Dallas, Texas. He was on the Today Show talking about basically closing the doors of his store because of COVID and because not being able to be open and not knowing when he would be able to open up again. He was financially strapped and he was tapped out. And so he wanted to close the business. And at that time, it was just one store, his. And so that really spoke to my heart, seeing him on TV with the individual with special needs and hearing that individual talk about what it meant to him to have a job. So I reached out to Tom, and 3 weeks later we met in person, and I bought a checkbook with me, and I wouldn't leave until he gave me either the company or gave me ownership or allowed me to franchise his concept essentially. So he tried to talk me out of it, which was a bad idea because, I'm not easily persuaded when you try to talk me away from doing God's work. And so 4 months later, I opened my doors here in Katy, and it's been amazing since then. And so we do hire 85% of our staff has special needs. I have over 32 individuals on payroll now that have special needs. And it's been great. It's been an amazing journey. And it's been the best thing that's happened to me thus far.
Wow. So I want you to talk a little bit more about that encounter with Mr. Tom, because I want to know, how was his facial expression when you pulled out that checkbook?
Yeah, so I'm impulsive, and so I have a tendency to move quickly, and when I want something, I go after it like crazy. And so it was wild. I pulled up with a checkbook, and when I got there, I had my father with me, and he said, man, he elbowed me. He said, wait. You haven't even tried this man's ice cream yet before wanting to buy his ice cream shop. So by the grace of God, Tom had bought samples of his flavors with him.
Okay.
And so we got to taste the ice cream there at the restaurant we were eating and meeting at, and it was spot on. It's homemade. So it has a
Okay.
very unique, distinct taste. And so that was icing on the cake. I was already going to buy it for the simple fact that the ability to hire people with special needs was enough for me. But his
Yeah.
facial expression, it's hard to explain because I'm young. I was probably opposite of what he was thinking was gonna pull up, and
Right,
he could,
right.
yeah, so he could see my passion in it. He saw how passionate I was, and so it's
Hmm.
2.5 years now. We've locked arms and we're working on different ventures together. So it's been a great partnership between Tom and I. Tom was the founder of Texadelphia. It was a Philly cheesesteak
Yeah, I remember.
chain. So
Restaurant, right?
he's
Yeah.
the founder of Texadelphia, and that did really well. So he's worked in the restaurant industry his whole life. I've never been in that industry. So
Okay.
his advice to me was get away, because the
Hmm.
restaurant industry has a crazy turnover, and he was burnt
Right.
out. He's going on 58 and he has back problems and stuff. And so he was like,
Hmm.
Rod, you're young, you're ambitious, your companies do well, you have amazing family. Do not get involved in this restaurant industry. It's going to be uh, a really bad
Stressful.
mistake for you. And so I'm glad that I was able to persuade him to allow me to franchise Howdy, because I've
Hmm.
I've given him a spark again. I've showed him that it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be stressful. Um, it just needs some innovation, and we need to redo the way that we think about the restaurant industry and the people that we hire and the way we conduct business in the industry. And so the store is not driven on money. It's not fast paced. It is
Hmm.
it's you feel love in the air when you're in there. The people that we
Oh,
hire have amazing customer service. It's a
that's
vibe,
good.
and we make it a family friendly environment. So it's not so robust and so hurry, get you in, get you out, get you in, get you out, because
Yeah.
that's what creates the stress. And so we
Right.
changed it. We changed how we operate, and so it works, and it's
Oh,
it's actually very non-stressful. And
that's good. That's really
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Can you adjust your phone or your device so that we can get more lighting because you're a little dark in some areas?
yes.
Okay.
Can you see better?
Yeah. It's still a little dark. Maybe you can get an overhead light or something. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's better now. Now see, I can see your pearly whites. I can see it.
Yeah.
So, do you guys still have the Dallas location?
The
Is
Dallas,
it still?
so not just the Dallas location. So once I came on and I
Mhm,
showed him that we could thrive, and so I opened up
mhm.
Houston. Houston became the hot spot. We did 2.5 times the sales of Dallas. He was in business for 7 years before I opened up, and we doubled his sales first year. And so we
Wow.
became the training hub. And so he said, Rod, since you're the first person to franchise, do you mind leading the franchising of Howdy? And so I sold 9 stores in one year. So now we
One
have
year.
9 different locations around the country with more on the horizon. We're in HEB, 125 HEBs. We're on the verge of
Mhm.
going into Kroger's and Walmart. So not only are we in storefronts, we're in the retail sector also. And so all this has happened in the last 18 months. We went from almost closing the business down to
Mm.
now growing like wildfire all over the country. And so it's a beautiful thing because there's so many individuals with special needs that are seeking
Mhm.
employment. And so the more that we can do to raise awareness and open up these storefronts, the more individuals we can hire.
Absolutely. Now, do you guys collaborate with high schools so that you guys can employ some of those students after high
We
school
do, we do, we do.
graduation? Okay.
Yes, we collaborate with high
Mhm.
schools, Special Olympics, local nonprofits
Mm.
that do job trainings for these individuals. There's so many organizations in the community that are geared to this population that a lot of people don't know about.
Mhm.
But we collaborate with them to find the individuals, and it's some pretty alarming statistics when you look at how many individuals with special needs exist that are looking for employment. In North Texas alone, there's north of 275,000 that are
Wow.
unemployed, seeking employment, that are able to work but don't have the opportunity. So you know, it's not a shortage of individuals; it's a shortage of opportunity, and so we're
That's
trying to change
true.
that. Mhm.
That is so true. Wow, that's amazing that you guys how you turned that business around in such a short period of time.
Mhm.
Now, have this I'm sure this has opened up many other doors for you as well, like other business opportunities. Do you foresee this expanding globally, like more to other area internationally?
Yes,
Mhm.
this concept can be placed anywhere. So Troy
Mhm.
Knuckles, he just opened one up in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
We opened up one in Asheville, North Carolina. But yes, to answer your question, this can be we can take this concept and place it anywhere. To be honest,
Mhm.
we wanted to show profitability, because in business you have to show that it makes money. You don't want it to be a
Right.
nonprofit because everybody has a nonprofit. You want to
Mhm.
show business owners that you can actually make a dollar with hiring these individuals. And so that was
Gotcha.
our goal. So I wanted to do that for 2 straight years. I wanted to show that not only can you be profitable, you can be very profitable, and you can expand. So we sell at University of Houston, we sell at Rice University.
Okay.
This coming year we're going to sell at Texas A&M football games and basketball games. I have the exclusive contract at KDISD football games.
Oh,
So
good.
there's so many
Good.
things that you can do outside of a storefront,
That's
because
so true.
in Houston there's so many community events, and
Mhm.
there's so many times that you can set up a 10 by 10 tent and bring a cooler with prepackaged cups of ice cream and dry ice, and employ 4 or 5 more individuals with special needs to get out there and sell. So when
Right.
you think outside the box and get innovative, there's an opportunity to really expand, and on the mobile frontier or on the
Mhm.
brick and mortar storefront frontier.
Absolutely. Do you guys have sponsors that keeps pushing this thing?
Well, no, at this
Mhm.
time we really don't have sponsors. We don't
Mhm.
have investor sponsors or anything, to be honest. We've done this from our own bootstraps in our pockets.
Mm.
But the money that we gain is really from our storefronts and our
Gotcha.
sales. Hmm.
Gotcha.
We
That's
have
pretty.
partnerships. We do have
Mhm.
partnerships like U of H, Rice. Those individuals, they have partnered because they love what we're doing and they want us to get in front of their population. But as far as sponsors and people putting money behind us, not at this time.
Oh, that's gonna
Because
switch. That's gonna change real soon.
yeah, it'll
They're gonna be
change. It'll
having
change.
people from
It
all over giving you
it will
guys money, sponsoring
it
you.
will change.
Mm.
We haven't had a shortage of investors coming to us wanting to, but as you may know, you have to be careful on who you allow to invest, because they want to control your business. And what
Yeah.
we don't want is somebody to come and look at it as just a black and white business on how much money they can make, because then it takes
Mhm.
away from the mission. We have to stay
Right.
true to the mission, which is 80% or more individuals being hired at every storefront. Some guys have came to the table and said, man, we can scale this down. We can drop your payroll. Why don't we
Mhm.
just have 3 or 4 individuals with special needs and the rest be normal, so we can, you know, make it a fast transactional business? And unfortunately, that's not really why we started this.
Gotcha. Got to stick with the
Yeah,
foundation.
you have to stick true to the mission.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, through this whole building this franchise, I'm sure you guys have faced many challenges, and I know one of the challenges was during the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic. Were there other challenges along the way, and how was you guys able to um, get through those challenges?
So that was a challenge, but since
Hmm.
then, since then, the challenges we face are good challenges. Um, in my shopping center where I'm located, there is 6 other restaurants, or eateries, I should say, and every one of
Hmm.
those storefronts has a now hiring sign on the window, looking for more help. Our problem is actually the opposite. I have north of 60 individuals on a waiting list to work at Howdy. So
Oh wow!
the one of the challenges we face is not being able to grow fast enough. Because
Okay.
every week I have 2 to 3 individuals fill out an application begging to be employed at
To
my
work.
at my shop. But it's an ice
Yeah.
cream shop. I already have 15 to 20 people over than what I probably need, right? So every
Yeah.
shift I have 3 or 4 individuals working, when really I could probably get the job done with 1 or 2. But the beauty of seeing an individual 35, 40 years old that's never worked before, finding joy in having a job is more fulfilling than the extra money I can make by cutting my payroll.
Yeah.
So if I were to answer your question, the challenge we face now is not being able to pop more stores up fast enough to get these
Mm-hmm.
individuals hired.
Gotcha, gotcha. So some of these individuals, you can use them at events then, right? Is that how it
We
works?
do.
Like the
Hmm.
overflow of employees?
So now we have a weekend team, we have a
Mhm.
weekday team, and then we have an event team. So some
Okay.
individuals love just getting out in the community. And HEB is partnering up with us now since we are on the shelf at 125 HEBs around Texas. And
Mm-hmm.
we're going to start dispatching our individuals to HEBs to do sampling. So that's another way that they can pick up hours and get, employment opportunities.
Oh, that's
Um,
good. That's good.
yeah.
Okay. Now tell us about the ice cream. What is the top seller flavor that you guys have?
Oh man, that's a tough one because it switches month to month. But one of the most unique flavors we have is Dr. Pepper chocolate chip. So
Mm.
yeah, Dr. Pepper chocolate chip is very unique and it is amazing. And we're probably the only ice cream shop that has that flavor. Our cheesecake ice cream is amazing. Um,
Okay.
of course, we have like vanilla, strawberry, chocolate stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. We have cookies and cream, but we have some unique flavors like funnel cake, our cheesecake. We, it's all and the
All of
beauty
those
of
sound good.
yeah, and the beauty is it's homemade. So we make it fresh at the shop every day.
Wow.
Every day we have somebody in the back making ice cream. So it's a fresh homemade ice cream and
Wow.
it's a very unique taste. It's very new. Yeah.
So
You
you mentioned something about you mentioned that you guys have a different flavor or different special or something every month.
every month we try to come out with a new flavor.
Wow. So who creates these flavors?
You know, customers coming in to say, "Hey, have y'all thought about
Okay.
this?" Or we look at other ice cream shops in different parts of the country, and we'll say, "Man, that looks good, but what if we added banana to that?" Or if
Oh,
we
okay.
sit around and just think of something, we try it and we taste it, and if it's a hit, we put it out.
Wow, that's amazing because the community is actually involved in the whole process.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
I love. I love
yeah.
that about the business.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, that's really good. And
Yeah,
speaking of
like you could
yeah,
come in and try something and say, "Man, why don't y'all have this?" And you may see it a week later. So
yeah. Is that how Tom started? Did he just start with
that's
he just started with his original ice cream and then he just
he
started
start.
adding to it?
Correct. He just started adding to his base. He had a vanilla base, and he started adding just putting different fixings in it and coming up with
Yeah.
different flavors. And yeah,
Oh,
he's created a lot of amazing flavors, and we've taken it to another level. But
I
that's how
see.
that's how it all started. That's how it started.
Okay, okay. And I know I mentioned about the community, being involved in the whole process. What are some other things that you guys are doing with the community?
You know, we're working on a gala coming up in
Okay.
September. So we're starting a foundation called the Katy Angels, where we're going to highlight a lot of organizations in the community that support this population but don't get the notoriety. Um,
Hmm.
by the grace of God, when I opened my doors, we had a line wrapped around the building all weekend. We had thousands of people come, and so Howdy gets a lot of notoriety and a lot of credibility. But if I'm being honest, there's some pioneers out here that's been doing what I'm doing for the last 10, 20 years, and they just get
Hmm.
overlooked. And so I
Hmm.
kind of want to highlight those organizations um, because I can't take all the credit. I was able to hire individuals from organizations such as Katie Wolfpack, an individual named Don Wolf, who was a teacher for many years, retired, and his calling was to get back in the mud and help these individuals with special needs learn how to possibly get a job one day. So he takes them
Right.
around in his own personal work van and teaches them how to sweep and mop and um, bust tables and stuff like that, just on some
Hmm.
volunteer stuff, in hopes that one day somebody will call those individuals and say, "Hey, I need an extra employee." So I partnered up with him to he has over 200 people in that program. So I
Oh,
partnered
wow,
up with
that's
him so he
good.
can help me identify who's ready to be employable. So I would say 80% of my staff came from his program. But
Program.
people don't know about him because
Hmm.
nobody's ever really shed light. So I'm gonna do a gala in September here in Katy, highlighting programs in the community or people
That's
in the community
good.
that's really been impactful, but they haven't gotten the
Notice.
notoriety. So
That's good. That's good. That's all it takes. Just somebody to just say, "Hey, we see you. You know, you're
Correct.
doing some good things in here. Let,
Correct.
let me connect you with
Mhm.
this individual." And it's
Correct.
all about
And God gave me a
networking.
gift. God gave me a gift. You know, God gave me a gift and a platform, and I try
Mm-hmm.
to walk in my purpose every day. But I feel like
Yes.
it's selfish to take all the credibility and not share that with others that may have not gotten the same look as I gotten. So that's why I kind of want to transition, because I feel like if we all lock arms and come
Mm-hmm.
together in a real way, we can make even more of an impact. You know.
Right. Right. How has God played an impact in this whole process with you with this business?
It's so easy. So yeah, it's so
Yeah.
easy. So you know, I'm not a cooker at all. I eat out
Mm-hmm.
24/7 because I'm always on the run. So when I told people I wanted to open up an ice cream shop, everybody laughed. They said, one, you're crazy because you're hiring people with special needs, and two, you
Mm-hmm.
can't even cook. So how you gonna make ice cream, man? And so, but God had a plan and had a vision, and I had a vision. And my sister, who was a teacher in HISD for 14 years,
Mm-hmm.
in June I called on her. She's my older sister, and I got tired of hearing her complain about not not wanting to go to work anymore, because she loves the students, but she hates that the system focuses so much on teaching the test. All they talk about is
Gotcha.
passing the test. And in HISD, in the area that she worked in, it's a lot of apartments zoned to her school. So every 6 weeks she has a
Mm-hmm.
different set of kids in her classroom. So if she doesn't have a whole semester with these kids, how is she responsible for ensuring that these kids pass that test? And so her bonuses are relegated on her pass or fail rate, right? And so it was time to stress so much on, man, I pray that 80% of my class passes this test so I can get this bonus, right? And if they don't, then I'm looked at as a failure. And so
Right.
in June, I asked her, would she consider helping me with Howdy on the side, and I would pay her. And she said, I definitely would. And in July, she said, man, you're getting a lot of traction with this Howdy deal that you're about to open up. I just put in my 2 weeks notice at HISD. I'm not returning. I want to run the shop. And
Oh
so
wow.
my sister jumped in there, and she's been the heartbeat behind Howdy. She's hired. I've had 3 teachers now that resign and
Mm-hmm.
they work at Howdy. So Howdy now is a
Oh
training
wow.
facility. They teach these individuals soft skills, how to count currency. They teach them
Mm-hmm.
skills that I never would be able to teach, because I'm a visionary. I have big plans and big dreams, but the
Mm-hmm.
minute details aren't my thing. So
Yeah.
people like my sister, who has that teaching background, she got in there and she wrote the training manual for the entire company. She wrote
Oh,
the
that's
hiring manual for the entire
amazing.
company. So those are the individuals I want to highlight at the gala, because
Mm-hmm.
yes, Howdy has 9 stores, multi-million-dollar franchise company now, but it was a teacher that was getting paid $60,000 a year that wrote the manual, that gave us the
Mm-hmm.
insight on how to hire and who to hire and how to train and how to teach them
Yeah.
what individuals that come in my store are giving me 5-star reviews about. And so she gets overlooked and overshadowed, but
Mhm.
they're really the heartbeat behind it all. And so when you asked about God, I mean, all that is a God thing, because we never worked in the industry, a restaurant industry. And being African Americans, I'm 36 years old. My sister's 38 years old. We don't come from a background of business owners. And
Mhm.
so to have successful businesses, for her to be a GM, and for her to now, run a multi-million-dollar company, with a teaching background, and to be able to hire and manage 35 individuals, and just to see her happy again and be able to buy her first home off of being able to, like, it's so many things like that I could have never dreamed of. And we have the ability to do now. And it was all just
Mhm.
taking faith and following God's plan and walking in our purpose. So
I love
Tom
that.
Landis, who has 25 years of restaurant industry experience, he calls on us for guidance. And
That's
so
good.
it's a beautiful thing. And sometimes I still sit and scratch my head on how this all came about, because
Mhm. Only God could have put that together
just two
like that.
years ago, just 2 years
Mhm.
ago, I wouldn't even I wouldn't even dream of doing something like this. I mean,
Right,
this
right.
just 2 years ago, I was thinking of a whole nother plan. And now, I'm
Wow.
on talk shows with individuals like you talking about an ice cream
Yeah.
shop with
Shop.
35 individuals with special needs and my sister working it. I mean, that wasn't even a thought process 2 years ago.
That is, because you guys never did do business together, right? You and your
Never,
sister?
and, honestly, our relationship, it wasn't the best. We weren't at odds by any stretch of the word because I've always
Mhm.
loved my sister. My sister's always loved me. But in the business sector, it's just so it's so demanding. It's so stressful. I was living in between
Mhm.
two cities. I was living out of
Mhm.
hotels. I'm constantly on the phone at dinner meetings. It was all a hustle, and
Gotcha.
um, I just wasn't able to spend that time with her or my little niece, which is her daughter, like I wanted
Mhm.
to because it was just a hustle. I was trying to make the best life possible for my kids, and I neglected things that now I'll never take for granted again, which is family.
Right.
And I feel like God helped bring all that back into the forefront with Howdy because
Mm.
my entire family, my sister-in-law, my sister, everybody works at Howdy now. My mother, who's a retired teacher, my father, everybody, everybody works at Howdy now. And so
Okay,
it's
that's
a
good.
it's
That's
a
good.
it's an amazing thing to see. I pop in there sometimes. I see my father-in-law, my dad, my mom. They behind the
Yeah,
register. It's a cool thing to see
that is
because
amazing.
it gives them purpose. When you retire, a lot of
Mhm.
times they're like, "What am I gonna do?" And so now
Right, influence,
every day they
yeah.
have something that they can do. And so, yeah,
Absolutely. That's amazing. I love hearing that story and just seeing
Mhm.
how God worked it all out. And
Yeah,
I love the fact that you're using educators because I'm an educator too. And speaking of
yeah,
educators, my
yeah,
co-host Nola J is an educator. And she just jumping in and
yeah,
she wanna ask you a few questions. Hey, Miss
yeah. No,
Nola.
Hey, what's going
hey,
on, y'all?
now it's much respect. My mother retired from HISD. She worked at the same school, Stevens Elementary, for 39 years, and so my sister wanted to be just like her. So I have a high level of respect for educators. And look,
Uh,
no matter the money I
Mhm.
make, I learn from my sister still to this day. I still call on her. She still write my manuals. She still
Mhm.
shows me stuff that you know. And it's funny to say that because everybody calls on me. They call my phone all day long, thinking I have the answers from people who are going to jail. They want me to give them law advice. People that are sick want me to act like a doctor. And it's all because of financials. They think, man, he has money, so
Yeah,
he has the answers to everything. But somebody like my sister, she's so brilliant, and resilient just off of what she's gone through working in that HISD setting. Um,
right.
but yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm so happy. I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm actually, it was because of school. Had to stay a little bit to, it's a rough day, but it's okay though. I'm here. That's all that matters.
yeah, I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you. So, I know that you guys been talking about the business, and
Mhm.
I'm so excited. I looked it up, and I saw it was such amazing. So, I'm also a sped teacher. So, not only
Oh
educator,
yeah,
but a sped teacher. So,
yeah.
I know, how you feeling. I love to see people with disabilities get opportunities like you have. And speaking on that, what are some other places of business that may give the same opportunity that you have?
Okay, so there's a place that just opened up. There's a place that my camera did my camera go out?
Yes, it
Yes, it
did.
is.
Hold on. So there's a place that just opened up in the Rice University area called Betty Boo's Coffee. And so Betty
Yeah.
Boo's is actually hiring individuals with special needs also. And so salute to them. Outside of that, I don't really know who is doing it in the community yet. I know Betty Boo's because I went to the grand opening. I know we are. And outside of that, I really can't name anybody. I'm sure there are some that exist, but those are the two that are really making noise: Howdy and Betty Boo's Coffee.
Okay. Okay. Do you plan on? I know. I don't know if you talked about the prime that you partnered with
Mm-hmm.
Haiti. So, do you plan on? First of all, do you plan on expanding? I may have missed that. Do you plan on expanding to maybe another area?
Definitely, I would love to expand. I'm actually talking to a guy, Dash Gordon, out in Friendswood, and he's really interested in potentially partnering up with me to do one out in Friendswood area. So I would love to do that with him. I want to do one in College Station because their slogan is Howdy, and we're Howdy, and I think that would be a plug and play. But to answer your question, I would love to expand for sure. I would love to expand.
Okay. And so I know you did a Joy Prom. Is that what they're called? They did a
Yeah, Joy Prom coming up 15th next Saturday. It's coming up.
Okay, well, so would you like also find yourself partnering with other ISD schools, ISD districts as well?
I would love to, so I did. So if I back up a little bit, I partnered with Under Armour. Under Armour gave me a little over $500,000 worth of athletic gear to basically turn around and give back to the less fortunate or individuals in need. And so through my amazing PR company, shout out to them. They're all the way lit. But through them, they helped me set up a HISD tour. And so we've gone to a few HISD schools, and we give like track spikes and softball gear and athletic gear to Title I schools that don't receive the funding that schools out here in Katy may receive. And every time I go, I take some of my Howdy heroes with me. And so to answer your question, I'm down to partner with anybody that's willing to lock arms and try to help affect some positive change. I'm with. But I'm only one person, so sometimes it gets overwhelming and I'm spread thin. So there's a lot of opportunities that do exist or that I could create to affect more positive change. It's just, I feel like the time in the day always runs out. And so, I would love to, though. I would love to. So anytime the lawyer or them reach out to me and they have an idea, I'm always going to say yes. Because, that's what my heart beats for. And so I would love to, for sure.
Right. So speaking of reaching out, where can we reach out to you if we want to get in touch with you? Or see more of Howdy.
HowdyHomemadeKaty.com is the website. And on Facebook and Instagram, it is Howdy Homemade Katy. There it is. So if you want to follow or reach out, I usually check all of those sites once a day. And my sister, who is the GM of Howdy, she checks it multiple times a day. So it'll never go unanswered. We're very responsive because, like I said, we have 3 to 5 individuals a week that send applications in. And I don't want them to ever feel like they're unheard or, overlooked. So we do try to reach out and contact everybody who reaches out to us. And so we are responsive on there. So if you want to reach out, if you have an idea, if you want anything, just send the inquiry and let's talk. Let's figure it out.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Rod. This has really been an honor to have you on the show. I love hearing your testimony, and I love hearing about everything that you're doing in the city of Houston and Katy and globally and internationally in the future, because you're going internationally.
Yeah, I love how you spoke it in existence. Thank you.
There we go. We speak it on the Not So Christian to Me show.
That's right.
Do you have any final thoughts before you leave tonight?
I don't, but thank y'all, and I love what y'all doing with your platform. Please keep it going.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone who are tuned in. If you guys are interested in being a guest on the Not So Christian to Me show, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook at the Not So Christian to Me show. Until next time, remember that no matter what you guys are going through, remember, keep God first and he will see you through. All right. Bye-bye.
Y'all later.
All right.